This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, violence, and sexual themes, as well as shocking revelations. Viewer discretion is advised. Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where tonight my friends and I will be playing the Magnus Archives role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. Last week, we had our session 0, where we created our characters. Over the past week, we have fleshed them out, consulting with Mike. And so, we are ready to go. The scenario is entitled The Resurrection Mound. I'm not entirely sure who wrote it, but I will give credit to Monte Cook, Jonathan Sims, and Alexander J. Newall, as the creators. The Magnus Archives are based on a wonderful horror podcast of the same name, which you can listen to at rustyquill.com. It uses the Cypher game system. The game is available from Monte Cook Games and also from Drive-Thru RPG. Our game master is Mike Machen, and this is episode 1. So without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. Mike?
Oh, thank you so much, Thom. I itch all the time. Deep beneath my skin, where the bone sits, enshrined in flesh, I feel it. Something not moving, but that wants to move, wants to be free. It itches, and I don't think I want it. I don't know what to do. You can't help me. I don't think so, at least. But whatever it is that calls to me, that wants me for its own, it hates you. It hates what you are and what you do. And if it hates you, then maybe you can help me. If I wanted to be helped. I don't know if I do. You must understand it sings so sweetly, and I need it. But I am afraid. It isn't right, and I need help. I need it to be seen in the cold light of knowledge as anathema to the things that crawl and slither and swarm in the corners and the cracks in the pitted holes of the hive. Welcome to our first scenario, the Resurrection Mound. We join our characters in a mid-September Monday morning, looking in at the St. Cyprian Library, where Dr. Mortimer Bosch and Rory McGuire are doing some maintenance on the various tape machines and recorders in their facility.
Rory, would you hand me that bottle of alcohol? Thank you.
Very well, Professor.
You have to clean the heads on these things. You know, these are very old machines.
I don't know why you're using these, my friend. We have such much better equipment in the modern era, the digital.
It's true, and we are using digital eventually, but for some reason, some of these unusual emanations, if you will, they don't record digitally. They don't record on anything but magnetic tape. The magnetic, there's an old theory that maybe when some traumatic event takes place in the magnetic, our brains are magnetic. They have electromagnetic waves that they lodge themselves in the structure of the building. And then when a sensitive person comes inside, the ghost replays in their mind, because it's just like a tape recorder works.
I think that's that stone tape theory, isn't it? I've read about it.
Yes, exactly.
Have you got any proof of that? Because that is really fascinating.
Well, it does seem to be that some of these things only show up on magnetic tape. So, I mean, we can't really prove anything. Proving anything is difficult. I can't prove that I'm a real human being. Not to you, not perfectly. They're all assumptions that we make. The whole universe itself might be quite different than what we all perceive it to be. Thank you. Let's see, where is
this cold I'm fighting feels pretty real to me.
So as the two of you work, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to throw a first roll into the game, and I'm going to have you roll a check to see how well you're doing at working on the tape machines. Now, for Mortimer, we're going to use your, is it training or specialty even in library and bookbinding and maintenance? I think we're going to include this as part of your duties.
Okay.
And for Rory, this is going to be part of your training in electronics. So regularly speaking, this is going to be a level 3 task. For Rory, it's going to go down a level due to your training in electronics, so it'll be level 2, so you're aiming at a 6. For Dr. Bosch, it's going to go down to a level 1 difficulty, so you're looking at a roll of 3 or higher to succeed. So yeah.
And I roll what dice? The 10-sided
using
dice?
a 20-sided dice for this one.
Oh, good. I just dropped my 10-sided dice on the floor. All right.
I got a 15.
Got a 15. Okay. So
I did all right.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I need
So you need a 3 or up.
a 3 or higher.
A 3 or higher.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a 19.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so that's one of the fun reasons
I know what I'm doing.
to do this early is that in combat, 16 and 17 are special rolls that give +1 or +2 damage respectively. But in 19 or 20, do some even increased extra damage. But in narrative scenes, 19 and 20, 19 adds what we're going to call a minor effect. So that means you're going to get a nice little extra bonus in what you're doing. So and that's up to you to decide. Essentially, it means is that things are going really well.
Excellent. I think that I've managed through my own conservation efforts to restore this machine to very good condition. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. We'll have to test it on the first tape that shows up today.
That sounds good. Looks great. I love this old technology. I love vinyl. I prefer it, but I just think that we have such great modern stuff that if we could find a way to make it work for what we do, that'd be awesome.
There's a lot of people that are not very happy with the modern digital music. They're going back to long playing records because they think the sound quality is better.
I got to admit, like when you're listening to Van Morrison, it sounds much better on vinyl.
I don't even mind the popping and the clicking that goes along with it.
The two of you both smell the unique mixture of perfume and cigarette smoke that heralds the entrance of your small library's director, Ms. Celine Delacroix.
Ms. Delacroix, please put that cigarette out if you still got it lit. No smoking in here. This place is filled with flat little pieces of wood.
And
paper.
You can see that she has no cigarette lit at the moment. She said, "Good morning, gentlemen. I see you're getting an early start."
Good morning. Please have a seat. We're just brushing up this machinery. What can we do for you? Anything interesting?
Oh, just checking in to see how goes the reorganization of the library.
Well, we're currently, I'm about to start working on digitizing some of these tapes. They're getting old, and if the tape gets damaged, then we'll have lost it forever.
See to it that we make duplications of the cassettes themselves. As that if my overseers back in London explicitly have reminded me that we must keep up-to-date magnetic tape records as well.
Of course. I'll probably see if I can scrounge up a hermetic chamber so that we can keep them in there and they'll be at the right temperature and the right moisture level so that they don't deteriorate as fast.
I can help you rig up a duplicator if you want. We can duplicate tapes.
Excellent.
As far as the tapes themselves, have there been any new additions?
Nothing today, no.
And of those lately, have any proved to be interesting?
I'd say most of them represent what seem very much like old wives' tales. not really anything that we could easily investigate, and probably wouldn't give us any more information than the tape actually does. We're going to try to transcript them as well. I know that's an even bigger chore, but some of these modern technology, a computer can usually transcript, but it makes a lot of errors. So perhaps we can hire one of the students to do proofreading, one of the folklore students.
Yes, we'll have to talk to Sebastian St. Laurent and see if we can offer someone.
I haven't received today's post, so I don't know if we've gotten anything. Miss Daniel Martin should be here at some point this morning to give us if we have anything.
Very well. I am expecting a call from London, so I will leave you to do your thing. Good morning.
All right. Gentlemen. You have a nice day.
And with that, we're going to cut scenes across town to the apartment of Ethan Caldwell. It's probably about 10 o'clock in the morning. And how is Ethan doing right now?
Ethan is sitting at his kitchen table. It's a smaller apartment, very sparsely furnished. But he's sitting there with a cup of black coffee, probably cold at this point because he hasn't touched it. His laptop open, and he's just reading. He hasn't got into work yet to meet up with everybody because he's kind of lost himself in what he normally does in the morning or at night or really any of his free time, which is searching around, looking at local news, local area message boards, community groups, even like spiritual wellness, forums, Facebook groups, things like that. And, if anybody were to ask him, he would say that he's just curious about this. He finds it interesting. But what he's really doing is he's looking for cults or signs of the cults that he used to recruit for, that they have sprung back up and they're recruiting again. Specifically, he can't remember the last cult he was in. He can't remember their name. Maybe they didn't have a name, but he remembers something horrible happening, and that's why he got out of what he was doing. But even though he doesn't recognize or remember the name, he can remember the tone of the cult, the cadence, the specific words that they used. And so he's looking for that. So far, it's been fruitless.
Very well. And looking around your apartment, what kind of things do you see? Is it are there many decorations or books, or is it more sparse?
It's definitely more sparse. He probably has he's got a small kitchen table, typical kitchen refrigerator, stove, things like that. Maybe a beat up couch he probably got from a thrift store. I would say he probably has a TV, although he doesn't really use it too much. And then piles of books that he has found, but hasn't really read them. He's not really collecting them either. He has every intention to read them, but every time he thinks about it, he's just not in the mood because he knows the time commitment it takes, and he doesn't want to make that commitment.
Nice. So yeah, you do another quick search and are getting results when you hear the sounds of something in the apartment next to you, and for a quick second it sounds like there's a bang or something. A noise kind of startles you almost for a second, and you think that you hear just kind of almost the muffled echo of raised voices sort of before it goes quiet.
Is this something that he's heard before?
You think that maybe you have, although you haven't paid too much attention to it until now, and this is the first time that it's kind of broken through to your full awareness.
I think I get up, maybe move closer to that wall, and just stand there and listen to see if I can discern what the voices are saying, their tone, things like that.
Yeah. As you stand there and stand close to it, you are listening, and you hear nothing. There's no sound, nothing. And your eyes slowly begin to kind of like defocus a little bit or drift further down the wall. And they come across a framed picture you have. And so, who would normally be in a framed picture besides yourself or somebody with you that you might still have up?
I think it would probably be his parents. Ethan has never married. He doesn't have a girlfriend or a significant other, and so that's probably who would be there.
As your eyes slowly kind of come across it and focus on it, you see the picture and the background's the same as normal, but this time noticing it, you see it's only you in it. There's no trace of your parents.
I would do a double take, go over and grab it, and look closer, and start wondering in my head, were my parents really ever in this picture? Was I hallucinating that, or am I misremembering?
Yeah, and you see just yourself staring back at you from the picture, and the background again. Maybe it's taken on some family vacation or something, but it seems, as far as you can tell right now, as though you're the only person in it.
This definitely feels too strange. I'm convinced that was that they were in there. They were in that picture with me, and so I'll put it face down on the table it was on, just for like 20-30 seconds, and then lift it back up.
And this time the picture is just the landscape picture. There's no you in it. So I think I'll have you roll a intellect defense at this point.
Oh, and I have an inability in intellect defense. So,
okay.
So
it's going to be a level 3 test. So with an inability, it's going to move it up to a level 4 test. So you're looking for a 12 or a more.
I rolled a 10.
Rolled a 10. So you're freaked out. You're going to take 1 stress from this.
Okay.
And you're a little bit uncomfortable in your surroundings for the moment. You look around your apartment and it doesn't feel so comfortable.
Yeah, it's time to go into work, so I'll quickly grab my wallet, my key. I don't know if I have keys, but whatever I normally grab, and just leave as quickly as possible. I'd probably even forget to lock the door.
Sounds good. You head off to work. Okay, let's move back to the university grounds. I think we'll hit Dr. Melanie first before we get to Sebastian St. Laurent. You're probably finishing the end of a morning class, maybe, Melanie?
Yes, but I'm also very I kept it a very easy introductory session because 3 days ago I just got back from rescuing somebody from the People's Church of the Divine Host.
Oof.
I'm exhausted. So after I send the students out, I hold my poise until I know they're gone.
Yeah.
And then I sink into the chair in the lecture hall and just
you remember walking into that place that they were using as for their worship, and the darkness that surrounded you, having to walk in with multiple flashlights, looking around from room to room, trying to find before. And who did you save from the cult?
It was a young woman. Her name was Addison Devine. She contacted me through email because she realized that this was not going to ever end well. And it was taking too much of her. I know much about that. So, and not being a stranger to this type of thing, I went in there with nothing but, as you said, multiple flashlights, my professional clothes, and my hidden microphone and hidden camera.
Did you
because if I'm gonna be doing this, I am getting all the evidence I can. And yeah, have I maybe kind of sort of blackmailed a few people with it? Who can say?
The People's Church of the Divine Host has been a problem for years now, and every time it seems like one of their places is busted up, the cops go in and clear them out. It's only a matter of time till they find a new place and start recruiting again. Where's Addison now?
I got her to one of my safe houses that I have out in sort of the eastern Quebec area, just so that she can, but I very specifically, it's my cottage, but I very specifically have it where there's like pretty much wall-to-wall windows, because if there's one thing the People's Church hates, it's light.
Yes.
So if anything was gonna make her feel safe, that would. So as of right now, she's currently probably in the living room watching TV or something, and all I want to do is head back to my apartment, make myself a cup of really strong espresso, and snuggle with my cat.
But you can't do that because you have work yet to do today, unfortunately, at the St. Cyprian Library.
And after I checked my clock in the classroom, all right, I sort of sigh, pack up my stuff, and do a bit of a net crack and make my way towards St. Cyprian's.
Yeah, sounds good. You're walking out of the building when you pass the office of Dr. Jacob Cross, one of the other psychology instructors. And you see he seems to be doing some kind of crossword puzzle at his desk and looks up to you and says, "Oh, hey, Dr. Melanie."
Dr. Cross, how can I help you?
Oh, you're heading out for the day?
Yeah, that was my last class for the morning, and undergrads, I tell you.
He laughs. You can see past him around his room. He's got a few different papers and notes on a board behind him, and you can see his computer monitors turned towards you. There's a screensaver on it in which you see row after row of crystalline fractals spreading across it in a continuous motion. As you look at it for a second, it's almost a little bit hypnotizing as you watch it.
Will you ever change that screensaver? You know it messes with my eyes.
Oh, sorry. There's a lot out there. Sorry, it just seems to get me thinking. Sorry, I find it relaxing.
Whatever gets you through, I suppose.
Well, you back in tomorrow?
Yeah, I've got one section of research methods and then finally some time in my office after office hours to just get that article I've been working on done. Then again, if EndNote decides to be stupid again, hopefully I won't lose my bibliography again.
Dr. Cross commiserates now. Do you think that he knows about your extracurricular activities at all?
Do you mean St. Cyprian's or do you mean my cult rescues?
Cult rescues in specific.
Okay. He actually might know some of that. Like, okay. He knows that I'm certainly open about the fact that I've helped get people out.
Okay.
Otherwise, how are they going to find me?
In that case, he calls as you leave, and try to get some rest, Melanie. You can't save the world if you're exhausted and run down.
I know. Thanks, Joe. I give him a bit of a wry smile as I keep going. Don't lose too much time in there.
And he seems to have already lost track of the crossword, and the last sight of you have is him staring at a screen watching these fractals go around. We'll move over to Sebastian St. Laurent. You're finishing classes. Danielle Martine comes up to your desk as you're writing a few notes. And she says, Professor St. Laurent.
Oh, Miss Martine.
I'm sorry. I meant to reach out to you over the weekend, but this is my friend Alana. We got another cassette for you to take to the library.
Oh my goodness! Thank you so much. You've done so well. This is what, the third one, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I know that the first one maybe was a little bit silly and the second one, but this woman came in on Friday
Mm-hmm.
and she was really freaked out. I don't know. Probably should have told you then, but I wasn't sure to the level we should get involved right away. But yeah, maybe you should take it over and have a listen. As
Of
we did
course, of
the
course.
interview with her, and she kind of just got a bit uptight after and stormed out pretty quick. But given the things that she's gone through, I guess it makes sense.
All right. Well, I'll listen to it, and we'll You did your transcriptions and stuff, did you already, or?
Yeah, I have the papers here, and
Okay.
she motion and Alana quickly opens her bag and passes over the forms.
Oh, very good, very good. Let's see.
Less your class today. I have most of my notes. Did you want us to follow up further on that story?
But on the one that you've just taken the transcriptions for?
No. Oh, sorry. On your teaching materials today on our class.
Oh well, it's the I think you've done this. You've done this in another course. We're doing the creepypasta segment again.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay,
so it's
perfect.
the one where you have to submit a creepypasta to a website and then track the user-generated content surrounding it, just to teach people how to follow the user-generated content. And I've decided to take SCP off the list because I don't like what people did with that last year. That was a mess. So you can just skip this one. You can, in fact, you know what? If you don't have anything else, you can take a little bit of a break if you'd like.
Oh, wow. Okay. And the two women look at each other and smile, and Alana's like, "Yeah, we did notice that some of the comments are scarier than the actual stories."
I know we have to study the comments. That's actually what we're studying, is what people say about these things. That's why it's user-generated content. But the SCP stuff was just too controversial. What people were saying to that was just had some backlash. So we're not going to do that again. Anyways, that is very good. Thank you very much. Thank you, Alana.
Oh, you're welcome. And Alana and Danielle bid you farewell, and
Okay, I'll stuff
you
it
step
into
out. You can see.
Well, actually, I very quickly, because of course, I mean, all politeness and stuff with the students, but because of what they said, I'm slightly worried now. So I'm going to quickly scan over the transcript and see if I look for keywords that suggest anything really problematic.
Yeah, and as you scan it over, you do quickly get a sense of something unnerving here, and get the sense that and you see the mention of wasps and the mention of a death, and realize that,
Yeah.
this is something that might be better to have everyone here all at once.
Okay, I'll stuff everything in my little brown case there, and I'll boogie over to the library.
Yeah, stepping out of the building, you see the autumn sun shining down on you. The leaves are changing color. Many of them fallen to the ground already from the trees. You see students rushing from between classes to other buildings and make your way along. And what do you think is the first thing that Sebastian St. Laurent is reminded of or sees when he sees the St. Cyprian Library? What is the impression it makes?
Well, it's one of the oldest buildings around, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got history in the very fabric of its stones. It's seen and knows things, you know. So to me, it's a grand presence. It's an entity,
Yeah.
Of which one should have some respect. So I acknowledge the library whenever I go into it.
It's interesting that you mentioned that it's seen things, and yeah, sometimes you find it on your mind throughout the day at other points, and as you go into it, you pass the receptionist who waves to you, and you check in and head down and past the main floor being most of the books, and you hear the conversation coming from a room deeper inside where you run into our other four characters who have all met up.
Ah, Seb, there you are.
Hi, everyone. Fresh tape.
Oh, all right.
Big deal.
Let me get my espresso first.
Oh, grab me one, please.
Of course.
Dr. Bosch, if you want to set it up.
I was just saying, Sebastian, we've been friends for years. You don't have to call me doctor unless there are students around.
Oh, you're right, of course. This has got me in a mode of thinking seriously. Yes,
I've been cleaning the machines all day.
It gleams. Look at this. What did you put mineral over the whole thing? It looks young. It looks revived.
It's just
it looks close to new. I'm very impressed.
It has a vitality about it, sir. This is very good.
Enough. Let's.
All right.
Not calling for your praise on my machine cleaning abilities.
I float back over with 2 cups of espresso in hand. Here you are, Seb.
Oh yeah.
Is Ethan here too? Now we can't hear you.
Yeah, everyone can hear me now. Yes, Ethan's there.
Okay. Let's get my pad and pencil out and.
Okay.
Do we have any, Sebastian? Do you have any information on this one? Where it came from?
Very troubled person. Didn't stay around. Mention of a death. Something to do with insects, which is always concerning for me.
Insects?
Or should be. Oh. Yes. Well, insects seem to crop up in a lot of not very good things. No. I only skimmed the transcription. I wanted to have fresh ears for her actual voice and what she's going to say, but I have a feeling this is going to be something important.
Okay.
I get put this in.
I get my phone out and open my notes app.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so I'm going to, as you slide the cassette in and hit play, I'm going to share screen here.
My name is Karen Jong, and my family and I live out on Stonecrest Lane, on the southern outskirts of town. I'm here to tell you about the thing in my garden. About 6 months ago, we began to notice flying bugs we couldn't identify behind our house. They were red and green and looked like hornets a little bit. They would give you a painful sting if you disturbed them, but otherwise they left us alone. About a week after we first noticed them, we found a nest in the grass towards the back corner of our garden. It was hard and reddish-brown in color, with little holes for the bugs to go in and out. I don't mean to sound dramatic, but it reminded me of the carcinoma my mother developed before she died. It even had the sort of odor that I remember from her deathbed. My husband Thom decided right then to call an exterminator. We phoned Beacon and Howe Pest Control, but they couldn't come out for almost a week. We told our son Nicholas to keep away from the nest and waited. The 2 men they sent out were strange, huge, slow-moving men in gray uniforms. They went straight into the garden like they knew where they were going. Looking at the nest, which had grown to be almost 6 inches high, with many more of the hornet things buzzing around, one of them asked, "Are you sure you don't want to keep it?" What a strange question. We said we wanted it and the bugs dealt with, and they agreed. The one that spoke, only one of them ever spoke, advised us to go inside. And they went and got some kind of hinged wooden box from their van. Using shovels, they pried the nest up from the ground as a single piece and put it in the box. They didn't wear any protective clothing, but the insects didn't seem to bother them. They were very odd. Without a word, they put the box in the van and drove off. We went out and there was just a shallow hole where the nest was, and no bugs to be seen. We thought we were done with it, although Thom worried that they hadn't mentioned the charge nor given us an invoice. About a week later, we started noticing the red and green bugs were back. I checked the spot and the nest was back too. They'd already rebuilt it to the size it had been before, maybe even a bit larger. I called Beacon and Howe to tell them the job wasn't finished. The man on the phone said they'd be out again in a week. I told them we wouldn't pay unless they were really taken care of. You need to guarantee your work if you're going to stay in business, I told him. He just replied, and hung up. While we waited, we kept an eye on the nest, and every day it grew a little more, looking like a mound or a little tower filled with tiny holes. Even though I tried to keep him away from it, one evening Nicholas noticed small animal bones protruding from it. The nest was almost 15 or 16 inches high at this point. The next morning, my husband wanted to take photos to show the exterminators when they returned. When we went out there, though, the bones were gone, and the mound looked disturbed, like something had kicked it. Maybe an animal, we thought, but that was a sure way to get a lot of stings. The exterminators didn't show up the following week, and my calls just went to a voicemail. The mound stood about 2 feet high at this point, and Thom took some photos of the very strange moment when we saw that the insects were all swarming in a bundle. It turned out they were swarming over a dead squirrel. Dozens and dozens of them, and they weren't eating it like we thought at first. They were dragging it towards the mound. I almost threw up. No amount of searching the internet gave us any answers about what kind of bugs these were. I did find a photo of a nest very much like what we had from out near the Badlands in South Dakota. That Saturday, Thom said he was going to drive to Beacon and Howe's office to talk to someone directly. I tried to get an appointment with a different exterminator, but wasn't having any luck. While I tried, Nicholas came into the kitchen. "Mom, something's weird." He took me outside and we saw a very sick-looking squirrel. Its fur was ragged and it looked emaciated. "I think those bugs have been attacking it," I said. "Do not go out there. Those things are dangerous." But then as we watched, the squirrel's mouth opened and one of the red and green insects crawled out of it. We both gasped. The bugs were inside it? Was it the same squirrel we'd seen before? But that poor thing had been dead without a doubt. This one was alive, but not doing well. "It must be a different one," I said under my breath. Nicholas said quietly, "It's the same one. I was just looking at Dad's pictures." The phone rang, and I hoped it was one of the exterminators returning my calls. It wasn't. It was the police. Thom had been killed in a hit-and-run accident on the way back from Beacon and Howe. The next week was a blur. Not a week, 9 days. I won't go into all of that. I can't, even if I wanted to. I'm sure you can fill in those details yourself. Obviously, Nicholas and I are devastated. The only thing I really remember from that week, amid the funeral, the family, and all the arrangements, was a single moment staring out into our garden. The squirrel we'd seen that had looked so bedraggled was running up the tree next to the house, and it looked fine. There was some scars in places where its skin was still bare, but it scampered about as if nothing was wrong. I stepped out the back door and looked to the mound. It was at least 3 feet high now, a crusty tower riddled with dark, finger-sized holes. At the base of it, the bugs were swarming over something again, inching it toward the nest. I think it might have been a dead cat. I'm going to sprinkle Thom's ashes on the mound tonight.
After I finished taking notes on my phone, I'm like, I'm not sure sprinkling ashes on that termite, hornet, ant, whatever it was, is a very good idea.
I think at least in the story, the first thing that we need to determine is what insects these are. I'm sure the university has an entomology department that could offer
certainly.
us some answers.
When was this recorded? Like yesterday or recently?
I was going to ask
week?
that too.
Sorry, Cassette Master, did they say it was just yesterday they got it?
They said it was Friday, and it's Monday now.
Friday.
So
for
two
God's sake.
days ago.
We got to get out there, take a look.
It's been growing exponentially ever since it showed up. That concerns me.
I mean, I like nature documentaries, and I've seen a lot of them. And insect behavior, I mean, some of this, she sounds, first of all, as if she's afraid of bugs, okay, which is understandable. Some people are terrified of bugs. I knew a woman once who was terrified of butterflies, which baffled me completely. But the behavior of some insects, especially the ones that kill animals and drag them into their nest, I mean, that's one way they obtain food. Sometimes they lay their eggs on them. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they grow very quickly because their nests grow because, you know, this is not a tree wasp, it's a ground wasp.
But that's the
some of them are very colorful.
Thing. It's not behaving like any wasp I've ever heard of.
If her narration is correct, I think that she's afraid of them, and she's You know, why I would ask the question, why didn't the exterminators use poison?
Well, and
digging it up doesn't make any sense.
No,
Well,
and remember something. She went through a very traumatic experience. Her husband was killed.
That's
Right.
true.
This could be affecting her memory. It could just be, Melanie, like you said, a termite mound or something like that in her mind is growing out. I mean, what was the name of the pest control? Beacon and Howe?
Beacon and Howe, yes.
I mean, we should at least, talk to them as well if we can.
Sure.
We have the address. We can go out and see for ourselves.
And believe me, I've met some eccentric exterminators in my day. Billy the Exterminator comes to mind, but the description of those exterminators at Beacon and Howe, that sounded something.
Why wouldn't they wear any PPE, to protect themselves?
No protection. Stick it in a box.
Bear in mind, it's not the exterminators; it's her impressions of the exterminators.
Right.
I know.
As a psychologist, does this make sense that she's gone through a traumatic experience?
Yes, it's
and she's probably looking for a way to blame something for it.
It's very possible, yes. In fact, the trauma from the hit and run could certainly be coloring memories, but she did say they had photos. If we could see those, that would at least put to bed any sort of traumatic memory of.
Yes, we
the hallucination.
I kind of give a sigh and sip more espresso. Thank you, Ethan.
We have her address on Stonecrest Lane.
Yeah,
so.
Melanie, why would she feel compelled to put her husband's ashes on the mound? That would seem to be so counter to what anyone would want to do under these circumstances.
There was a story I read once. Stephen King. I like Stephen King. He wrote this story called Pet Sematary.
Yes, that.
Going to bring back it. That's what it sounded like. Maybe she's.
But if you'll remember, in Pet Cemetery, they might come back, but they come back wrong.
Well, they're possessed by a Manitou at that point. That's not desirable.
Let's not consider the plot lines of movies to be any help in this.
But they actually have a lot of connection to real things,
Oh, Stephen King steals a lot of his stories from other people.
I know a lot of these stories come from mythology and from folklore. That's
exactly
what I do. But you ever read Salem's Lot? That's one of my favorite books. That and Dracula.
You and vampires, yes. I think that it's far more likely that these insects are just. Well, it sounds like it's some species of wasp, but we've got the entomology. I can check at the entomology department and see if they can. It's not much of a description, Right. My mother used to see a spider and tell me that it had 10-inch long legs and it was brown and gigantic, and I'd find it and it was this.
Right.
She mentioned seeing online a photo of a hive that looked like what she was seeing in her yard, but it was coming from the Badlands in America. Maybe it's an invasive species. We get that all the time, like in the rivers, in the lakes. People coming from other countries bringing things here that they shouldn't be bringing and dumping them out.
Japanese wasp,
right?
The giant wasp,
the Japanese beetles. There's so many invasive species.
I sort of cut a glance over to Ethan. Ethan, do you think you can maybe follow the lead of the potential second nest in South Dakota?
Yeah, but it's going to be easier once we get a picture of it. If I just search nest and insect nest in the Badlands, I'm going to get a million results.
Don't take her word for it that she searched the internet. She might not know what she's.
Good
she
point.
Might be typing in big ugly insect.
Good point.
We're going to have to talk to the woman again, but she sounds very troubled.
Yes, very.
As I recall, if it's a wasp, it's in the family of the order of Apis or
Apiary. Apis, you might be right.
Hymenoptera. I forget my taxonomy, but
family Ampulicidae. I'm not sure.
Ampulicidae.
Yes, because of their abdomens kind of looked like ampules.
Oh, that's clever. Given how troubled she sounds, maybe we should have Ethan, who's good with people, talk to her. Maybe Melanie, you could go with them just to see if she's kind of like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not familiar with Stonecrest Lane. What type of neighborhood is it? Is it an affluent neighborhood?
It's a fairly nice.
Mm-hmm.
The houses have yards.
Middle class.
Okay.
So you guys are downtown Montreal. It's south across the river, and I think it's Broussard is the kind of area of town just south.
Okay.
I'll check with. I think it's Bill Marsden over in the entomology department. Dr. Marsden.
Yes,
I'll check
that sounds right.
So carnivorous wasps is what we're looking for.
Carnivorous wasps, blue, red, green.
Build nests somewhat like builders. Termites.
Yeah.
You know that wasps and ants are not that far apart genetically. They're just some live in the ground, some live in the trees.
So it's
which
not
applies to both of them. Ants sometimes live in the ground, sometimes live in the trees.
So it's not particularly out of the realm of possibility that and
there are more species
could behave somewhat like ants.
No, of course, yeah. I once went into my backyard to pick up some dried branches and thought that I was pricking my fingers on something, and it turns out there was a wasp nest in the ground right underneath it. Little green, actually rather pretty insects, but not so pretty when they stung me in the knuckles.
Are you sure you went into the right specialization, Mortimer?
I have a wide area of interests.
Oh, that's very true. But yes, I suppose, yes, I'll Ethan and I'll talk to Ms. Jung and then
see if I can schedule an appointment with Dr. Marsden this morning.
Right.
And I would suggest that whoever's going with us to look at the nest get something from the entomology department to capture one of the insects and protective gear and all that. We don't know what these things are like.
Seb or Rory, would either of you wish to potentially just do a quick lookup of Beacon and Howe?
Yeah, let me take a look and see what they got if there's a directory, a webpage, or whatever.
I'm going to see if there's any native stories about these creatures. This seems like something that the natives should have known about, I think. And Rory is much better at doing that kind of other investigative stuff.
I can find their they got a webpage, they got any advertising they do. See what I can find out about them.
Okay. All right, I think that sounds good. I stretch a little bit, like, you see me do this a lot where it seems like I'm trying to get comfortable even if I'm like sitting in a really plush chair or whatnot. I never really talk about it, but all right, let's go, shall we?
All right.
Okay, so it sounds like you have a plan of attack in mind here. Dr. Mortimer Bosch is headed to the entomology department. Was anyone going with him, or he's going on his own?
Going on my own.
Yeah, and Dr. Melanie Beaudry and Ethan Caldwell are both headed to the Jong household. Rory McGuire, you're sticking around to use the computers to look up Beacon and Howe more.
Mm-hmm.
And Sebastian St. Laurent, you're doing a little digging on the bugs here.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with the two of you who are still on site for the moment.
Yep.
Sebastian, where does your research begin?
Well, okay, so I'm going to assume that that the South Dakota thing is a significant thing, so that the bugs probably have something to do with the species there. So I'll look into, I guess maybe, I'm not sure what the natives of the area would be, but whatever the local group would be, and see if they have stories of these bugs, because this is the kind of thing that if you run into, if it's attacking animals and stuff like that, you're going to have stories about it, right? And also how to deal with them or how to avoid them, and how dangerous they are. So that's what I'll look into. So see what's there. I mean, the description is so vivid of the size of the mound and the colors that any stories are going to stand out. They're not going to be ambiguous.
Yeah. I think as a professor and a researcher yourself, I don't think I have any role in mind for you. But as you start going through, it's not unlikely that you might look at it from your specialty point of view as well, and you start kind of comparing historical and regional stuff from both Quebec to South Dakota, and looking at kind of the bigger picture of it, and come across a few aspects of folklore. You're reminded of some of the roles of scarab beetles in Egyptian mythology, probably, for instance, as well as the devil's.
They're a little bit more benign, though.
Yes, exactly. The devil's coach horse beetle is another one. As far back in the Middle Ages, the species was associated with death and other things. And you see one thing of, and my daughter would give me heck for forgetting the group Haudenosaunee Nation historically has some legends about mosquitoes, and some of the aspects that they have of stories of rebirth and life and death and stuff like that. Comparing that to regional things, you're searching and I think for the sake of the luck on the digging into just random internet stuff, I'm gonna give you maybe a computer's task that's gonna be challenge 4.
Also have to make a computer's test.
Task level 4. Yeah.
Okay, I do not have that skill, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think I'd let you use some of what you're leveraging. Again, with the computers of the university, maybe we can bring that down to a 3. Do you have any other training or specialty that might help it?
History, cultism, I've got specialty in. That's about it, really.
Yeah, you know what? Let's keep it at a difficulty 3 then. So you're looking for a 9 and up on our roll.
Okay, then I will spend 2 intellect pool to get it down to a difficulty 2.
Yeah, there you go.
I need
now
to beat a
6. For
6
and up. Yeah.
Okay. And I got a 17.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Okay. And yeah, after a little while searching, you find a picture first that shows this wasp-like figure, and you see it is a nest in a backyard, and it appears to be from someone's Flickr stream, basically. And following it back to the account, you can see that sure enough, it is connected to a account that they made of something that showed up in their backyard and thought it was strange, and took pictures of it. They trying to put it with iNaturalist or any type of thing like that, offered them no intel on
hits.
it, but but you do see this reddish brownish little mound that they have a picture of it taking, and
does it kind of fit the description with the little finger-sized holes and the size and all that?
Yeah, as far as you can tell from the picture, it does, and maybe there's a small blog attached to it, and they talk about it becoming a much of an annoyance that they had to take fire to it and burn it out, essentially.
Purge with fire.
No.
And is there any follow-up in the blog? They have any further troubles?
As you go forward, you can see there's maybe a few other stories about life and things going on, but then the blog just seems to end and there's no more entries after a while. They must have got tired of their online footprint, maybe, or
yeah, unfortunately that's spooky but not necessarily indicative of evil.
Yeah. As you're doing that, Rory is over beside you. Rory, you were looking up Beacon and Howe. Was there any other angle that you wanted to investigate them from?
Yeah, I think it would be relatively like a 0 level in game terms challenge to look up the address, the phone number.
Absolutely,
that sort of thing.
You are able.
I did have an idea. I do want to look through some of the Yelp and Angie's List comments that people have left about this place, because they seem a little weird.
Yeah.
And I want to see if anyone has a similar story, like they didn't wear any PPE or protective equipment or anything when they came out, or they behaved oddly, or I want to look for comments like that.
Yeah, and I'll ask you a trick. This is a loaded question. Are there any other sources that you might have available to you that you might want to search as well for them?
Um, I'm trying to think what Rory would know. I think I think I might want to see if there's anything in the local papers that if there's ever been a story about them as well. Like see if something's been reported on it. Maybe some police blotters or something. If they do that in Canada, put them online like they do here. I think I would want to take a look at that.
Yeah,
as well.
And maybe you think that far, and think maybe there's archives you could check on site even.
Yeah, I could look in the archives if it see what I see, what people are saying, and then maybe go over to our archives that we have. Dark web has been suggested as well. But, might want to take a look at that as well. See how far down the rabbit hole I can go with them.
Doing a little digging online, you start searching them up, and you find that they do have a facility somewhere in kind of the industrial area of town, and it looks as though they have roughly normal business hours, maybe a little bit tighter or a little bit shorter than that. There is a phone number attached to it. Looking at Yelp and Google reviews, they have almost zero reviews whatsoever, except you do notice that there is one review left from a man talking about mound for wasps in his backyard, and you see it's written by Thom. And he gives them 2 stars, and then at the end of the review says, but they never charged me anyway, so I don't know, not sure I'd recommend them to anyone.
Yeah, this is very strange that this would be the only review for a company when people use these sites all the time, even just to complain and moan some Karen. So I'm like looking at it like, this is very strange. So I think I'm going to do a couple things. Just do a search to see if there's been any police or any news stories about them and any police reports about them. And then I want to go see if we have anything in the archives, I think, after that.
Through
this name.
Police, they are completely absent from any records. They're no mentioned. Sorry, I'm just gonna... going through, you can see that there seems to be no sign of no news stories or anything like that. You're going through.
Yeah, there's no real footprint online for them. That's what I'm not finding. So now I think the archives are going to be the place to go. Obviously, I recognize that it's her husband from the woman who made the statement.
Yeah,
I probably could, out of character, not talk in the brogue as well. I think that would lead me to want to go look at the archives. Of course, I'm going to let them know about this. My teammates know what I found. The one review.
And as you've been helping Dr. Mortimer Bosch out, you know roughly his kind of arranging and organization of it, and you're kind of referencing files before you find something from 2018, and it is a statement made by a man named Leroy Kolb, in which he talks about having an inordinate amount of flies in his garage, which he felt to be supernatural. He goes on from there to say that he ended up employing Beacon and Howe to deal with the issue. The statement says only that the problem was dealt with in a, quote, unconventional manner.
This was 1918?
This was 2018, sorry.
Oh, 2018.
Did I say 19? Maybe I said that.
I thought I heard 1918.
Oh, God, sorry, no.
No, you said 2018.
Oh, okay. That's all.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
No, don't worry.
All right. So another person to look up online, see if we could find this person. Was it local? Was it here in the Montreal area? Okay.
Yes, it was, but it was North Montreal instead.
Okay, we're gonna have to look them up. This person up who made the statement. See if we can visit them. See if they're still around. Obviously, I'm writing this all down because I'm going to pass it on to the professors and the doctor and everyone to do this. But I feel like he's.
Did you find any kind of a business prospectus or history of Beacon and Howe?
It's like they don't exist online in the regular web. It's like the only review I found was from the woman's husband who gave us the statement from her.
How do people find them to hire them?
They do have a website. It's extremely plain.
I did find this in the archives, though, from 2018. Another gentleman had made a statement to us, and I give him the information. And they also hired the same group, Beetle and Grimm, or I'm sorry,
Beacon and Howe.
Beacon and Howe. So where did I get Beetle and Grimm?
I'm thinking it's beginning to sound like they're that as the common link. They could be what we're really wanting to dig into here.
Mm-hmm. I think Beacon and Howe. I kind of want to check them out. I want to go over there, see what's going on. But I don't know if I should go alone yet. We should talk to everybody.
Well, given that somebody died after meeting them, I don't know how safe they are.
That doesn't sound like a good plan. Maybe
in their website, their extremely boring website, do they have a logo or anything? Like most exterminator companies make a logo.
Yeah, would I have seen a logo? Or
they don't have a logo.
The closest thing to that is just a large typeface just saying Beacon and Hope.
Does it look like it was written by a normal person, the website? Is the language normal?
Is it? What font did they use?
It's something like bolded Verdana or something like that. And
plain, generic.
Yeah. No, the whole thing looks incredibly basic, very amateur web design. Yeah, I think it's probably hosted on some site that you pay a fee and that provides you the tools to build the site.
I wonder if we should call some of the other exterminators and see if they know anything about these guys. What do you think?
It's all comic
sense. See if they've heard of them.
But because you know what? They're so bad and weird, I bet you people call it other exterminators saying, like, we went with Beacon and Howe and they foobarred it, and so they would have stories about them or something.
You would think, yeah. But all right, so Rory will be like, "What? I'll hit the phones. I'll see some of these other places. I'm not,
see if anyone's got some skinny on them."
But with the story that like you were saying about Thom going there to confront them or to deal with them, and then he never came home. I mean, that could just be a coincidence, but everything on this is too weird to just assume coincidence anymore. So
yeah. Oh, I've got suspicions.
Yeah.
Okay, let's switch to Dr. Mortimer Bosch. You are walking across the grounds, and it's close enough between the buildings. I'm not sure if Mortimer owns a vehicle or not, but
yes, I do. I have a very nice vehicle.
Nice.
But yes, I walk across. I probably am calling him, or probably whoever's in charge of his scheduling.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're able to get through.
Fit me in the next 15 minutes just for a short discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. Bill should have no problem finding the time to fit you in. He's between classes.
I'm walking over there now. Thank you.
Yeah, and as you're walking, you can see just ahead of you, off to the side of the road, you can see there is a few students gathered around in a bit of a group, and you can see an emergency vehicle parked in front of it, and they're seeing a stretcher out, and a few paramedics and ambulances is just pulling up as you're crossing, and there seem to be lifting a stretcher into the ambulance. And
is it going in the direction that I'm going? Is it possible to sort of veer over so that I can take a looky-loo?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you are able to get a little bit kind of closer, but not too close to it. And you see the paramedics are essentially handing off the body to the ambulance team, who are kind of just in the process of shutting out the ambulance. You get a look into, maybe a brief look at the person on the stretcher, and are almost sure that it's someone on the faculty somewhere at the university.
I'll come up to a student who's there, and I'll just pardon me. What happened?
Oh, it's Dr. Besner from the English department.
Oh, what?
He was walking and I guess started clutching his chest and crumpled to the ground.
Oh no. I was not aware that he had any kind of heart condition, but he's not old enough to. Oh, that's a terrible shame. And I'll say, thank you for telling me, and then I'll walk on.
Yeah. As you walk on, you see the small group of paramedics are slowly moving back to their vehicle, and one of the paramedics, a young man with quite dark hair, kind of stops for a second and turns, and you see that he very specifically notes your presence and almost gives you a lasting first inquisitive look, and then kind of nods at you.
Is there any recognition from me? Do I know?
No, you've
familiar
never
at
seen
all?
him before.
Could have been an ex-student. Could have been anyone. Yeah. I meet so many people
around all the time. Yeah.
That's a terrible shame. And I'll just continue on and shrug it off.
Yeah, and he hops in the vehicle with the others and drives off. You reach the building you're headed for, and you can see Bill Marsden is comes down and greets you and says, "Well, Dr. Bosch, it's good to see you today."
Oh yeah, I have some things to discuss with you, but you know that old skillywiggle, Dr. Bedner. He just collapsed in the
William?
The quad. Yeah, and they were taking him away. I couldn't tell whether he's just being taken. One of the students said that he clutched his chest. I hope it's not too serious. They can do a lot nowadays to help with heart attacks as long as they can get him to the hospital. I couldn't tell whether he was alive or not, but let's all hope that he was fine.
Everyone has a time, I guess, but we never know it till it comes.
No, indeed. So, an interesting piece of information came my way. There's a woman, that we take some of the folklore students.
Yes, I've and it's Professor Sebastian Saint Laurent, right?
Yes. We were sent a cassette tape of all things, but there's apparently was a woman and her husband living out on Stonecrest Lane, and she said that they seem to have some sort of infestation of an insect species. It sounds like a ground-dwelling wasp.
Okay.
And she described it as green and red. I don't have much of a description, but it built a kind of a mound in the backyard, which she described as reddish in color, and that it seemed to attack some of the animal life, squirrels and so forth, and drag their bodies into the nest. For this area, does that sound like anything, or is it one of those new Japanese wasps that we've heard so much about?
That's highly abnormal for this area. That's nothing I've heard of. I've heard stories of course, of the emerald cockroach wasp and bugs like that, but if it sounds like something we may want to look into with an invasive species. It could certainly be threatening to, if it were to spread and
Well,
take over.
a lot of the woman's account is it's highly questionable. Apparently, her husband was just killed in a car crash, and I don't know if Doctor Bowdry seems to think that maybe she's having some sort of psychological reaction to her husband dying so suddenly, and that she somehow is putting blame towards these insects. She makes a lot of odd claims that the insects were able to bring back dead animals. Very strange things. But
like I mentioned, the emerald cockroach wasp is the one that many people talk to in terms of zombie lore and stuff like that. It's the one that can have certain creatures as a parasitic host that can have them continue to act after their death. But what you're describing doesn't sound exactly like that.
Well, she called this. This also could be sketchy. She called an extermination company that came out and dug up the nest and took it away. But within a few days, the nest grew back. Now, that seems very unusual that they would dig up the nest. Wouldn't they gas it or poison it or
destroy it altogether? And that is quite unusual. To think that they would have some reason to keep it or.
Well, we're doing a little investigation to see. Well, if what she says is true, I mean, the insect part of it, we'll try to get some specimens, and I'll make sure they get back to you so that you can take a look at them. She also said that there were other accounts online. I think she said South Dakota. There was an account of one.
Really? Interesting. Okay. And
so you might want to take a look into that.
The two of you have moved to his office as you're speaking, and he's still listening to you as he gets up, and you can see he opens a small piece on a large glass pane behind his desk where you can see there is a ant farm set into the wall, and you can see he drops in a few bits of food and covers it up as the ants slowly start scurrying towards it and pulling it down deeper into their tunnels.
Beautiful.
It is fascinating, isn't it? And he looks at that for a moment and turns back to you and says, well, I'd be very curious to hear what your investigation yields if I can offer you any tools for collection.
Perhaps a net of some sort, like I'm sure you have butterfly nets.
Yeah, and he leads you down to like a extra area for kind of equipment where they keep some things for outdoor studies, and a
little thing to put them in.
And a few glass boxes to hold them and stuff like that.
Oh, wonderful. I mean, to tell you the truth, if I hadn't gone into the Jesuit school, I would have probably become somebody like you, entomologist.
Well, you've always had quite a fascination for our small friends in the world. They need.
Well, I don't want to keep you any longer. I know you've got another class today. I will get back in touch with you the minute I know.
Well, keep in mind it's not a bad idea to bring gloves with you or anything like that.
Oh yeah. I don't know that if there is such a thing, we're not going to get too close to it,
Yes, very, very, very wise. Well, all the best on your little bug hunt. I'm eager to see your results. So. If you don't mind, I'd better get. I have another appointment here to see to. So
of course. You have a nice afternoon, and say some prayers for William, for Dr. Bednar.
Oh, Bednar, yes. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
And then I'll leave and walk back. I think as I go back, I'll also try to get any more information about from anybody that might have been. I'm sure they're dispersed by now, but
yeah, most have seemed to have gone on their way. But
if I hear a group of students talking about it, then I'll insert myself.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say that you could probably find someone, and you can see if a small group of students kind of off to the side, and they maybe it's a small handful that have stood almost right around where the ambulance was.
I heard about what happened to Dr. Bednar. Are you his students? Do you know what happened?
One of them claims to have been in his class 2 semesters ago, and it says, the story is that he collapsed on his way walking between buildings. So he was headed to another class, and I don't know. He didn't look good. I got to look at him before they threw him in the ambulance, and I don't know.
Was he still alive, though? Yes?
I think so.
I hope so. Yes, we'll have to keep track of that. Well, thank you very much. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you a professor here?
I'm actually the curator of the St. Cyprian collection in the old library over there. It's not open to the public, so you can't really get inside. But
what's the point of it then if you have a library that nobody can use?
They're very old books and very delicate. They need to be temperature and humidity controlled. Library was actually here before the university. It was originally owned by the Catholic Church, the Jesuits. And
that's fascinating, but what's the purpose of it then if it can't be used?
Well, I mean, it can be used. You have to have you have to either be a scholar or a student with written permission to get into it. It's folklore and archival things. That's its purpose. And museums and old things are always worth preserving.
Right. You see the students kind of give each other awkward glances and says, well, nice to meet you then.
Yes. Have a nice day.
Yeah, I'll turn around. You as well. And you're you're about 10 steps away and think for a second, you hear a giggle or a laugh behind you or something, and you're reminded of youth.
Yes, it's why I don't teach classes, except to a few choice students who are trying to learn museum science and conservation.
Absolutely. Okay, let's move to the vehicle headed out towards Rossard. Who's driving, Melanie or Ethan?
Ethan, can you drive?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense that Ethan would have, some type of car, so probably not anything too exciting, but
right.
Turning on the GPS on my phone just to figure out where this is at and, drive through the streets to get there.
Okay. I'm sort of, again, like settling back against the seat and just...
Comfortable?
Yeah.
You okay?
Just a bit. I sort of glance over at him. Just a bit of a flare. Nothing too unusual. You know how it is.
Do you want me to stop at a drugstore and get some aspirin or something?
No, it's fine. I don't need anything at the moment, but it'll pass. It always does.
All right. Well, careful with your late nights. I know. I obviously I know. Your extracurricular activities. That can be dangerous. Like I've offered before, if you ever need me to go along, just let me know.
Of course. This last one probably could have used you actually, but I didn't realize that till I was in it.
Yeah. Well, even if you want to give me a call and have me wait outside in the car, I'm always more than happy. You've obviously helped me more than I deserve, so I appreciate it.
Hey, none of that. That's that's very much follower talk, eh?
Good point. True.
Besides, any days that we get outside of those situations is one more day we put a middle finger in their face, right?
That is true as well. Well, in any case, with Karen or Miss Young, or how do you want to handle this? Her son is probably there too. Do you want to try to talk to him as well?
Yes, I think so. He kids notice more than they might let on, as we both are very much aware. And I think, if nothing else, he obviously will also be grief-stricken like his mother, but I do think that we might be able to get more of the, I guess, more of the unbiased story, perhaps, from him.
Okay, that makes sense. If you want, I'll kind of talk to the mother, and if you want to excuse yourself, or talk to him in another room away from her,
Yeah.
I'll make the opportunity.
Yeah, that sounds good. We're both gonna want to speak with her anyway, but that's a very good idea.
Okay.
I go through a couple notes on my phone. I think everything looks good here, but I am going to want to take some photos of this mound if it's still there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We definitely need to. And was Mortimer going to meet us there? I know he was going to get the insect stuff.
Well, we're going to need him if he wants to collect a sample, because we certainly don't have the equipment.
Okay. All right. Well.
So I fire a text off to Mortimer, letting him know that we're just about at the Joan house. How goes the meeting with the entomologist? ?
Oh, go ahead, Tom. You're muted.
I respond. It went well, of course. Without a sample, he has no idea what it is. He did give me some equipment to collect some specimens, and he did mention the only thing off the top of his head was the emerald cockroach wasp, but they're not native to this area. He's hoping that it is not an invasive species. Blah 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 blah.
I send him like a thumbs up emoji, and then I'm like, all right, that sounds good, thank you.
One other thing. Dr. William Bednar collapsed today at school, and I saw him taken off in an ambulance. Say some prayers for him.
Certainly will. I give a prayer hands emoji. But you might want to come over to this address for specimen collecting, because we certainly don't have the equipment. I fire off the address to him.
Be careful. Wasps are dangerous. I will see if I can collect the others.
All right. The most we're going to do is take photos and talk to Ms. Jung and her son.
Excellent.
I imagine all Ethan is hearing as he's driving is this like massive amount of clicking as Melanie is typing in, and then ding, 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 ding as Mortimer is firing the messages back.
I can keep my pace with the students.
Yeah. Do you think maybe it's a group thing, and Sebastian and Rory are on there too? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Group chat.
Sure. Makes sense.
You guys have been driving for a little while, so it's possible they've been doing their thing too by now.
Right.
So
I'm still doing this as I'm walking into the library where they're standing.
You sit down next to him, you're still doing that?
Yeah, I'm still doing it. Yeah.
All right, so I put my phone down and let Ethan know what Mortimer's been saying.
Okay.
He's gonna try and rustle up the others to come over for sample collecting.
Okay, that makes sense. We're probably we'll be there for a little while, so
right.
Yeah, I don't see it unless it's not gonna be an issue.
Oh, and apparently, I don't know if you know this, but Be Dr. Bedner collapsed on campus today.
Oh, I don't know many of the professors like you all do. Uh, were he
He,
what
yes,
was he older?
older from what I remember, yes, but in fairly good health otherwise, but apparently just collapsed in front, just on the quad for no apparent reason, it seems. I don't know. Mortimer doesn't know much else. He did see him to taken off on a stretcher.
As the two of you are talking, I'm going to have you both roll a perception task.
Okie doke. And I am trained in that, so that'll.
You are. So yes, it's going to be a difficulty 4. So you'll go down to a 3.
Okay. Is there anything else here that I might be able to use?
I got a 17.
Oh, nice.
18.
Okay, wow.
Yes.
Okay, so you are both kind of watching the GPS as you're going through and you're on Stonecrest, or you're just coming up to it as you pass down 35th Avenue, and just out of the corner of your eye as you go by, and maybe you almost reflexively tap the brakes for a second, you see there's another 2-story house that you're just passing, and you just happen to get the glimpse of a very dirty looking white van in front of it, and it's almost like that retroactive realization as you pass through that just through the coated mud on the side of it you could somewhat make out the words Beacon and Hope on it.
Beacon and how?
Oh, Beacon and how, sorry.
Right, but I'm saying that to even.
Yeah, I'll start. How far away are we from our destination?
You're about a block, maybe about 2 blocks away.
I'm gonna slow down to a crawl, but so that we can look at them. Not in the rearview mirror or whatever. Do we see anybody there?
As you kind of slow down to crawl, you see a very large man in overalls and kind of a bluish gray overalls coming out. He appears to be holding a large mound of dirt in his arms, and as he goes up to the van, you realize that there must have been another one standing in front of it, and in the rearview mirror, they almost look like twins at first, but you see the other one open the back of the van, and they both take this large dug up chunk of dirt and essentially just shove it onto what looks like a plastic bag in the back of the van.
While they're doing that, he's driving. I very quietly put my phone up and snap a couple of pictures.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
those go immediately to the group chat. Saw at house near John residence. I think we've got something.
We'll note down the address as well.
You can see they slam the back of the van shut and go around to the front cab and open doors, step into it, and you see the puff of black exhaust come out of the back of their vehicle a second later as they start their engine, and it sound, maybe you to take your pictures, you've rolled down your windows or something, but there's almost a strong stink to the vehicle as it comes to life, and you can breathe it pretty much as it slowly accelerates and drives up the street away from you guys.
Ethan, you see me clench my very hard, because even though it's exhaust, too much like smoke for my taste.
With that, he'll start, or I'll start going a little bit faster, so it doesn't look like we're. I'm trying to make it not look like we're eyeing them, but it looks like our mysterious exterminators are pretty busy. It's kind of weird that they're in the same neighborhood.
And very strange looking, just like on the tape.
Can we? Is the van going the opposite direction of us?
Yeah. But you're kind of you're in the suburbs, in the very residential areas.
Right.
If nothing else, you're guessing that they're making their way back to kind of the main thoroughfares or the larger roads.
Well, I don't think we should follow them. Let's go talk to our witness, but maybe we should, have somebody go back to that house and even just peer in the backyard.
Yes, here. I very quickly take the here, send the address to the group chat of the other house.
Yeah.
Rory's been calling different other exterminators to see if he can get any stories in this while this has been going on. Has he learned anything he can share with anyone about? Has any of them, or is it once again like no imprint?
For the most part, you go through 3 or 4 no imprint, and then you finally find one who there's a little bit of awkwardness over the phone at the first, and then they finally confess that they were doing a job, and to their surprise, Beacon and Howe showed up, and things kind of got a little bit ugly and a little bit awkward. They weren't very, and it's not uncommon for a business for different people in the office to accidentally phone different exterminators. So they misattribute it to an accident at first, but they ended up being intimidated enough by Beacon and Howe that they backed off. But they weren't so sure that Beacon and Howe weren't going to get tons of stings and bites because they did not seem very well prepared for what they were doing.
I asked him about the Thom. I forget the last name of the family. I'm so sorry.
John.
I asked if it was at that address or was it somewhere else.
No, they say it was a business downtown about a
business.
Maybe about a year and a half ago.
Okay. Do you know what I asked him? Do you know what the problem was? What sort of infestation they had?
Oh yeah, it's cockroaches. Just endless cockroaches. Yeah,
was there anything odd about them, or just were they regular looking, or were there anything that might be maybe an invasive species or something?
No, it seemed more or less regular. It just was the strangest thing that, like, again, usually we're pretty big on masking up, and I mean, unfortunately there's just no way to do that kind of job without chemical, and we were well started, and these guys just took over without even asking us what types of things we were using.
That's interesting. Well, I appreciate your help. I'm going to share all this and everything I've learned to date with, in the group chat with everyone. Are
we
no.
Are we hopping in my car and heading over there?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go over, Professor, and join him. We can bring all this PPE so that nobody gets stung. And sounds like we got a couple more places to check out. This business, also maybe this this other house they just saw. We'll come back. See if we can
Bill Marston says that it could easily be an infestation of something from another country. These things sort of happen occasionally, but most of the time the bugs die off and that's the end of them. But it's when they don't have anything to eat them that they take over.
Speaking of how does not sound very professional at all, from their shoddy website to their not having any business, it looks like.
Gentlemen, before we go, I just want to try something. Cassette Master, I'm going to get a payphone, and I'm going to use Beacon House phone number. And I'm going to dial them up.
Yeah. And it rings and rings and rings and rings. There's no answer.
They haven't hired a secretary.
Then they don't have a voicemail.
They have no voicemail. It continues to ring.
Something continues to become shadier and shadier about this company. I mean, if you can't leave a message, and how do they know to come and pick up the bugs?
Well, and why did these people even contact them when there's so many good exterminators in the phone book? Like, I mean, I guess they're under B, but, so maybe they're earlier on in the phone book to call, but...
I once had a friend who was into doing magic and illusions, and I'm talking about stage magic and so forth, and he always told me that when you think that something is random, it's usually not.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it does seem definitely random that you'd pick up a phone book and dial an exterminator
Oh,
and get the
well, wait a
wrong
minute.
or get the one
Do we
particular
still have
one.
phone books in the present era? I'm not really sure.
Oh yeah.
I was about to say, can I look
Will
in a
you?
phone book and see if they have
Will
a
you?
big ad? But do we even have them anymore?
No,
Yeah,
we don't have them.
yeah, I doubt you do.
Okay, if
It's
I
not
type
online,
in
though.
exterminators Montreal, do they pop up on the top of the page for the
No.
search?
Yeah, there's no sign of them.
Why do
Yeah.
these people get these guys?
Yeah.
That's why I
How
say
do they
it's
find
not
them?
random. It's almost as if something were carefully set up ahead of time. I don't know how they did it, but electronics.
Hmm.
Nowadays, there's all sorts of scams. Perhaps the thing was set up from the beginning. They already had access to their phone before they planted the bugs in their backyard. Who
Okay,
knows?
but they're not
search.
charging for anything. This isn't a
Because
profit
it's
scam.
planned. It's planned. There's
Now,
got
the
to be
search
some
algorithms,
plan.
when people search for a business, the algorithms,
You're talking about businesses
not
trying to
every,
make money. These people
yeah,
aren't
but
trying to make
here's
money.
what,
No.
maybe that's
Yeah.
something set up that when people search for certain things like these odd green and it looks through your browser history, sees what you searched on before, and they present the results, not alphabetically like an old-fashioned phone book,
Hmm.
but in the order related to things you've searched before. So maybe there's something going on there.
Hmm.
Would
And
bring
consider
would
too
bring
what
them up first, Beacon and Howe up first for these unfortunate people who had this particular situation that they were probably Googling before they actually reached out to the exterminator.
But who does
consider
that?
but consider
Yeah.
consider what Ethan and Melanie
You-
just told us, that they've seen the van and
Mhm.
they were loading another one of those into their the back.
They didn't
Maybe
necessarily
they're
confirm
not.
it was the same thing. They just were moving.
Well,
a
I
pile of
understand.
dirt. Yeah,
I understand. Yeah. Uh, it's the same sort of behavior. Maybe they're not getting paid because they don't care about the money. They care about
Yes,
the
that's what I want.
bugs.
They care about the bugs. They care about the bugs.
Yes.
They
And
care.
and they asked the woman in the
care.
tape.
Cuddle.
They said in the tape, "Are you sure you don't want to keep them?"
Yes, that's what I was wondering.
If they're looking for specific types of bugs or whatever, I would imagine on their website. I mean, they have an ugly, this is generic website, but all of the metadata and everything on the page. If someone has searched previously for some weird looking bug that matches what they want, their name will pop up on the search list. Now I need an exterminator for this. They pop up first.
So that's
Otherwise, no one
possibly
would
the
see them and
means.
nobody calls them.
Okay.
Yes, and they don't really want
It's
to
a
take.
random thing.
Yeah.
They don't.
Message to group chat. Made it to the Joan house. We'll be heading inside soon.
Oh,
Excellent.
message back. If an adult
We're on our
male
way.
answers the door, close and leave.
Thumbs up emoji.
What if it's her brother?
Then
Ethan,
we just embarrass yourselves.
you've parked in front of a well-appointed home in this subdivision. You can see this. It is like a little bit more spaced out here, way out on the edges of town. It's there's quite a bit of the yard sizes are quite big, and you can see a house in front of you that is a two-story house. You can see that there is a minivan parked in the driveway, and just off to the side of it, in front of the house, there is a child's bicycle on its side in the grass. The house itself ahead of you, you can see has every curtain and every blind in the house has been pulled down to obscure the sight through any of the windows from the front. You can see the grass in the yard looks a little bit overgrown, maybe. The fence goes from either side of the house and back around it before it connects with the fences of neighboring properties. But you can see what looks like on the left side of the property, there is what looks like a gate that would open and allow access to the backyard. Yeah, and Ethan and Melanie, you're able to step out of your vehicle and the house stands before you. Oh, Melanie. Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm sort of looking.
I was going to say, I wasn't sure if I was hearing you, but I am hearing you.
Oh, yeah. So I was sort of looking at this house, and I sort of cut a glance over to Ethan, and I murmur kind of quietly, they've been through a lot. The house seems to reflect it.
Yeah, I think that's understandable. And we need to keep that in mind too.
Yeah,
with,
of course.
Obviously she's probably still going through a lot. Because she wrote the statement a couple days ago, last week.
Yes.
So okay, yeah. So everything's gonna be fresh. So we just need to be careful with that. Ethan will start walking up.
Mm-hmm. All right, you handle most of the talking. I'll interject if I need to.
Okay, sounds good.
As the two of you walk up the steps of the house, I'm going to interject with a mechanic rule here, and that is normally throughout play, anytime you roll a 1 on a task, it is a GM intrusion that I get to make things a little bit worse or more interesting automatically, and that one comes without any reward to you guys in terms of XP. Stepping onto the Jong property, we activate something called horror mode, which means the range of that roll goes up to a 1 or a 2 on a roll now. So
was there a roll that somebody crit failed on? I don't remember.
There hasn't been yet, but if there were to be, then now it's essentially that the crit fail range has now gone up to 1 or 2 rather than just 1.
Okay.
All right.
As the two of you get a little closer to the epicenter of this.
Okay.
And you walk up the front steps off the driveway and towards the house. You can see somewhat neglected flower planters and some fairly abandoned looking toys nestled among them as you step up to the front door and you stand before the door of the house.
Is there a doorbell?
Yeah.
Right then, I'll ring the doorbell and just once and just listen for any movement inside.
While we're both listening, I'm going to very surreptitiously reach into my purse and grab out a business card because, that'll help, let her know that we're not like just randos.
And for a moment, there's nothing. You're listening, and finally, you could have sworn that you didn't even hear footsteps getting close to the door when you hear the door handle begin to open. And for a second, it sounds like maybe whoever's opening the door might even be struggling with it a little bit. As it finally, you hear a click on the inside, and it pulls open, and you see a perhaps small even for his age 10-year-old boy with disheveled dark hair kind of look up at you nervously from within.
Hi, my name's Ethan. This is Melanie. Is this the Young residence?
Jong
residence?
Yeah.
I crouch down so I'm at his eye level. I'm Dr. Melanie Beaudry. I work at McGill University. We're here to talk to your mom about a tape she made on Friday.
I don't know anything about that. My mom can't come to the door right now.
Psychology roll.
Yeah.
Okay. Which I am trained in.
Ethan might have some powers.
And yes,
I've got discern motive. If
yes, also
applies.
Because of our connection, I get an asset while doing this as well.
Ah, nice. Okay.
Yep.
What's the difficulty?
Yeah. That.
Well, I'm just thinking over that in my head there, that there's some specific things that the difficulty is a little bit higher for you, but he is specifically level 1 NPC, so the difficulty is 1. I think in this case, I'm going to make it 2. I mean, I'm mincing numbers here, just because he is reluctant to give away really any information. But again, with specialty or with training in psychology, we'll move it back down to a 1.
Okay. Well, funny you should say that, because I got a 4.
You got a 4. Well, perfect. Okay, and you get the sense that he is extremely nervous. He sounds maybe a little bit concerned about his mom, but at the same time, this is like roughly a 10-year-old. You're also fairly sure that if you were to demand from him, you might be able to convince him. He seems maybe out of his depth.
Okay. We're here to talk about the tape your mom made, because we think we might, because let me back up. We're looking into the tape your mom made about the bugs in your backyard.
Yeah, you see a reaction on his face when you mention the bugs. He a kind of haunted expression comes over his face, and he almost can't help but making a panic glance back into the house behind him for a second before he turns back to face you.
I'm basically projecting caring adult.
Yeah.
Are you safe right now?
And he has, you can tell he's having trouble meeting your eyes.
I give Ethan a very significant look over the top of his head.
You know, if you would like, we can come in. You know, even for a couple minutes. We just want to talk to your mom, make sure everything's okay. Melanie here is a doctor.
Mom
not that sort of doctor.
Can come in.
He doesn't know that.
Mom says nobody can come in. I can't.
You
say, look.
He seems to be panicking worse at the thought of you guys coming in. Is immediately.
Okay. We won't. We'll stay right here. In fact, we won't. All we're really here to do is take a couple pictures of the stuff in your backyard and maybe see what you can tell us. Okay.
You don't doubt though that he's just a kid. You could just push right past him into the house if you wanted.
I'm gonna try to persuade him, and say, look, we just want to come in and help, make sure your mom's okay. You've obviously gone through a lot. Just let us in. We'll. I promise you, we'll 5 minutes, and then we'll be gone. And we just want to make sure everything's okay.
So this one is a difficulty 3 task, but
okay.
You're trained in persuasion.
Yep.
So it's going to go down to difficulty 2.
All right, so that's 6, right?
6, right?
Oh, and since I had an asset with the last time I talked to him, what did that do?
Oh, so that dropped your difficulty down. Is the yeah.
Oh, 9. All right, pass.
9. There you go. Okay, and you can see what you're saying makes a lot of sense to him, but yet it's clear that he's been given instructions otherwise. So his reaction to you instead is to kind of look down again and look up. Well, I guess maybe I could wake up Mom for this. And you hear a woman's voice from in the house say, "Nicholas, is someone at the door?"
Miss
and
John?
He says, I'll be back, and
okay.
He runs off into the house, leaving the door open behind him. And you can see that as he pulls away, the door kind of creaks a little bit wider open.
Look in and see how the house looks, the general shape.
Yeah, you can immediately see even from here that the house seems to be in a bit of disarray. There is kind of maybe a pile of Legos, and you're looking into kind of the front entranceway that leads to the living room, and you can see there's a pile of Legos that have been kind of spread across and then seemingly abandoned, and you can see a few blankets piled up on a couch and a few other just signs of just some general non-awareness of the surroundings that they're obviously coping with something.
Yeah, I'm already mentally kind of putting together a possibly an extraction plan for the kid, even as we're talking, because this seems very odd.
Melanie, is this? Sorry.
Go ahead.
Melanie, is this in a kind of point to the disarray inside? Is this what you would expect to see for somebody going through the grief?
Grief can lead to something like this, but after a longer period of time. I'm not sure how long it's been since he died. And also, I gesture to the blankets on the couch. I'm pretty sure Nicholas is sleeping out here.
Yeah. Okay. And then with that, Ethan will open the door and step inside.
I follow, but I'm kind of scanning the surroundings as I'm very much going into cat-like feet mode.
Mm-hmm. And as the two of you step in, you see Nicholas reemerge behind his mother, who quickly strides across, and you can see that she's wearing sweatpants and what looks like an old t-shirt. Her hair is also kind of disheveled, and you immediately looking at her face, you can tell that she looks utterly exhausted. Her eyes are bloodshot, and she comes, oh, sorry, Nicholas said you were at the door. I'm oh my gosh. And she seems immediately threatened, realizing that the two of you are in the house. And I'm sorry, did Nicholas invite you in? I'm sorry, but we really can't have guests right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. We thought we heard somebody calling us. I'm Ethan. This is Melanie. We're from the St. Cyprian library where you dropped off your statement. We just wanted to talk to you for a couple minutes.
Don't mind that. I've been dealing with a lot lately. There's been a lot of stress. Please just disregard that. Well, how silly of me. I should not have even. I don't know what led me to make that silly statement. It's nothing to worry about.
Psychology again.
Go ahead.
What's the difficulty?
Yeah, in her case, dealing with this is going to be a difficulty 5 task.
5, okay. Well, I am trained in psychology.
Yeah, that'll bring it down to a 4.
And then again, Ethan's with me, so that gives me an asset.
Yes, yep, he's working on her too. So yeah, that gets it down to 3.
Would get me to a 3. Could I possibly include discerning motive here? Because something seems really funky.
You know what? Not if you're trying to get a read on her. If you're using psychology specifically, yeah, I'm gonna say that. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll leave that at a 3 then. That's doable.
Yeah.
Let me just check my skills real quick.
As you're doing this, and
actually, yes, 2 intellect points. I want to pop.
There you go.
I want to pop missing detail.
Oh, read that one out to me if you have it there.
Okay, let me. Basically, it's after she tells me whatever it is she's gonna tell me, I will notice something that either she doesn't say, or I read between the lines, or I make an inference or something, and you basically are gonna be giving me some sort of hint.
Okay. Yeah, I like that a lot. Let us go with that. Yeah, go ahead and make your roll then.
Okay. So I need a 9. Ha! 11. We're good.
11. There you go. You're just skimming just ahead of. Yeah, and you get that she is. What you pull from this is that she is exhausted. She is definitely caught up in something, and as she's talking, she's trying to not so much as physically push you out the door, but slowly crowd both of you out the door. And but I think what you get as well from her is that she also seems afraid, but also maybe a little bit exhausted in it, that she's just been so scared that now she's kind of hit the point where it's just like she doesn't know how to cope at the moment.
Okay.
There is a funny smell in here.
Okay. So I kind of then I'm just like, we've been looking into the insects in your backyard. I'm like,
what? There's nothing to worry about. Honestly, it's fine. I don't know.
Are they still there?
They're still there, but me and Thom have dealt with it the best I can, and they don't seem to be hurting anything. So I think we should just leave them at this point. I really think we should just leave them.
Beacon and Howe was at a house, at your neighbor's house as we were driving by. Have they possibly had a new colony somewhere else?
Oh gosh, I don't know. We never did hear from them at all. I suppose at some point they'll probably make their way back here.
I'm like, ma'am, if these things are possibly spreading, it might not be affecting you anymore.
No. And she gives an kind of nervous look back down the house again towards that hallway she first came down again. And I think for missing detail, it was noted here in the chat as well that you almost get a sense maybe what you pull from it is that the way she talked about Thom there seemed almost in the present.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, ma'am, if you're okay with it, we'd like to just get a picture of it. At the university, some of the entomology scientists were interested. It's kind of a matter of public health too, just because if it's an invasive species, we'll be in and out in a minute, and if I need to, I'll use persuasion on that as well.
You know what? If it means that you're leaving the house, she seems fine with it, and she okay, sounds good. And again, another nervous glance back into the house a little bit, and you see Nicholas is sat down at one of the couches, and he picks up a handful of Lego and looks at them as they kind of just slide through his fingers and land on the floor.
Ethan, I send specifically to you in a private DM extraction plan. I don't even put a question mark there.
I think I put my hand on your shoulder, and give you a look like, let's wait a minute.
Yeah. Are you stepping outside the house?
Yeah, I'll start. Yeah, start to step outside and thank her as we go. Say we'll only be a minute. We'll just take a picture and then we'll leave.
She doesn't even answer.
I do leave my business card like on the coffee table where Nicholas can see it.
Oh, interesting. Maybe you're on your way out as you do it. She's closing the door, pushing you out, but Melanie, as you do that, you see that there is one of those door hanger advertisements that is sitting there on the thing, and you can see it just has written in it in very poor typography, bug problem ? Called Beacon and Howe.
I basically, in all the commotion as she's trying to get us out of the house, I maybe slide that flyer off the coffee table as we're leaving.
Yeah, she's talking with Ethan, and you're both headed out the house. As the two of you step out of the house, the door slams shut behind you, and you hear the deadbolt being thrown immediately. As that happens, you hear the sound of a car brakes as a car parks out front, and see Mortimer, Sebastian, and Ethan step out.
As I go to greet them, I just give them a very level look. I'm like, something is very, very wrong. And then I say kind of very quietly, and I think Rory might have been onto something with Pet Cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand what you want to do to get the kid out of there, but there may be somebody else in there, and
I know.
We're not prepared for something like that right now.
And I obviously wasn't saying we do it like immediately.
I know.
But
I'm with you, but let's have a plan. And with that, walk towards the other three.
See, Mortimer and the other two are pulling the various equipment out of the back of the vehicle.
Right.
What kind of PPE did you guys bring?
I'm imagining you picked up some of those suits they wear, the beekeepers and the masks and the screens. I don't know.
The leather gloves.
The gloves.
So who's going into the backyard?
Me.
Yeah,
well, I think I'm following them too. Yeah.
I have the net.
You've got the net, right? Yeah.
And as we're walking back up the driveway or whatever it is to there, I'll kind of very briefly describe the interaction. How Karen is, how Nicholas is, and that it's likely that there's somebody else in there.
I think we know who.
Dr. Mel, Ethan, if you're gonna go in there, I'm going with you. All right, if you're gonna
look,
I'm going with you.
We can't break the law. We're not above the law. We can call the police. They can call Child Protective Services and get the child out. You can't just break into a house and take a child.
I know. I'm sort of treating this like one of my rescues, but
you guys are having this conversation as you're walking around the house.
Quietly,
very quietly.
Yeah, coming around the corner, you can see there is a small balcony set up. You can see the kitchen blinds have been drawn. Every possible angle looking into the house seems to have been covered or closed up. You can see a barbecue on the edge of the deck. You can see a child's swing set and a soccer ball off to the side. You can see a hose wound up and a wheelbarrow and a few plants. But then over towards the back of the yard, you kind of come up short for a second as you see the mound. This brownish reddish thing. It's over 6 feet tall at this point.
Good Lord.
And stands above their back fence, and you can see around it a swirl of these wasps flying around it. And that's where we'll end our session tonight. Thank you, everyone.
Woo!
I'm gonna run out there with my butterfly net.
No, Mortimer, wait.
Smoker.
I think we're gonna need a bigger net.
Yeah, we're going to need a bigger net.
We only need a couple of them. Our players included Joe Bardalis, Jen Obertaz, Tyler Hudak, Troy Lehman, and myself, with Mike McKinn as the game master. We have a Discord server where you can chat with our other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for the show is provided by our patrons who are listed in the closing credits. If you'd like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page, or you can use the thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the horrors locked in the Magnus Archives. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.